Hey everyone, this is Daniel, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at Copilot Studio custom prompts. And we'll start by understanding what prompts is all about, right down to its definition. Then we'll switch gears and take a look at custom prompts. We'll see some of the out-of-the-box custom prompts examples already provided. Then we'll go and create our own custom prompts, and we'll leverage that both in Power Apps and in Power Automate. So it's very important that you understand this, because after you figure out how the AI blends in this custom prompts, you can start leveraging that both in your existing apps and flows and solutions for new ideas. So stick around, this is very exciting. But first, here's my intro video. So I want to start right down to the fundamental definition of prompt. And I love this Oxford Languages definition of the verb kind, which says it is a cause of an event or fact, or it brings about an action or feeling. And this is the fundamental definition of Copilot prompts as well, because we are using these Copilot prompts to go ahead and leverage either an event or a fact and bring about an action. So for example, we could go ahead and ask GPT to give us a summary of a message, or we are asking a very important fact about something, and its action, which is GPT's action, will go ahead and return that to us. So I really like how the learning documentation of Copilot prompts comes up, because it breaks prompts down into these four parts. It is goal, context, expectations, and sources. So what is the goal? Like, what do you want from your Copilot? Example, I want a list of 3 to 5 bullet points to prepare me for something. Then it's context. Like, what do you need and who is it solved for? A solve is, it is a meeting that is coming up with a client focusing on their current state and also to get understanding of what they want to achieve. Expectations, how should Copilot respond to best fulfill your request? And then after that is the source. Like, if you want to get a goal, context, and expectations, you got to make sure your source is really good. Also, you can put a little or a lot into prompt, but all that's required is a clear goal. That's the key thing. So unless and until you start with the clear goal, the rest of these four parts will just kind of fit into place. So this is the whole concept of Copilot prompts, is asking questions to GPT to get the action and the results back over here. So here's some great examples of prompts over here from Microsoft 365 chat site. Example, write a summary based on all emails from a person such as Sam in the past 2 weeks. Really great goal that is asked, and now GPT can go ahead and first of all get to the source that you asked, which is this case is your emails. Other source is Sam, and give you a full summary back. A great example of how prompt works. So now that you understand the how, let's take a look at the what. Like, what can I get done with Copilot prompts? So Copilot is built upon LLMS, which stands for Large Language Models that are connected to your Microsoft 365 apps and the data. And what this does is it allows you to go ahead and do a catch up on what happened in a meeting. You can go ahead and ask Copilot in Teams, hey, what were the questions that were asked during meetings? You can also go ahead and do a create presentation about time management. You can make it either a long presentation or short presentation, even going and writing an email. Going and doing an ask, are you planning a trip? So that Copilot can actually help give you ideas for, say, a 3-day trip in Hawaii, for example. Not just going and building new stuff, but also editing existing stuff. So examples is in Word, you can ask Copilot to edit a paragraph that you might have already written, and then ask Copilot, hey, can you go ahead and rewrite that? These are some everyday examples of how to go ahead and use Copilot prompts for your day-to-day tasks. So when it goes to creating a custom prompt, there are a few things you need to be aware of. First of all, this AI Builder prompt, as of right now, which is January of 2024, is running on GPT 3.5 turbo model, and it is powered by Azure OpenAI service. This capability is limited to some regions, and there might be some limitations when it comes to either the usage or its capacity. But what's a custom prompt altogether? The custom prompt gives makers the freedom to instruct the GPT model to behave in a certain way. And the importance to do that is include the following information. What is the topic? Keywords or phrases that are associated with the topic, and also the tone of the response or the target of the audience. Now, we will be going ahead and building some custom prompts so you will understand how to use it. The key thing is that be very specific. More specific you are in your prompts, the more accurate the AI will be in getting that information. Does it make sense? Good. Because now that you're getting to understand what prompts and Microsoft 365 prompts and the custom prompt is all about, let's go and take a look at Copilot Studio and its prompt section. Now, currently this is in preview, but you will see this available in your Copilot Studio as well. So now when I go and click on the prompts, you see all of these options available. You see AI prompts. AI prompts already has some of the options available for you to pick and choose from. We will actually leverage some of these in our apps and flows. And then it gives you an option of which were my prompts, any that were shared with me, and all the prompts altogether. Now, if you see over here, if you see on the owner column, there are some of those which are system generated. And these are the out-of-the-box prompts that works. So I want to actually take a look at how this even works altogether. So for example, if I go and take a look at this AI summarize, I simply go ahead and click on it. It gives you an overview. It says what is the prompt and then how you can go ahead and test it. So for each of these prompts that are available, you can actually go ahead and click on it and take a look at how it actually works. A great place to go and do some reverse engineering. So an AI, artificial intelligence summary prompt, is a place to summarize the text below. And they've already gone ahead and created the prompt. Because as you can see, each of them have this text embedded, and that's the place where it's the prompt. Input text over here is the prompt. And then you can go and actually test it as well. So you have the AI summarized one. You have all these other ones as well for AI sentiment or AI extract or even AI classify. What I want to do is actually go ahead and create our own custom prompt. So right over here in creating text using custom prompt, you can go and click on it. And this is the beautiful part. All of these existing ones as well, they have given you examples of how it works. So for example, the classify text, when I go and click on it, here is an example. First of all, we've gone ahead and created two prompts, a text to classify and category list. So once you've defined it this way, your model can respond with a full summary based on an example right over here. Summarize text is a great place. Once you've gone ahead and defined your prompt, you could go ahead and give it a big prompt like this, and your AI will go ahead and summarize it based on an example over here. So what I want to do is now create my own custom prompt. So right on the bottom right, you see you have an option to create custom prompt. And when you come over here, it goes ahead and creates this title. But I'm going to go ahead and change that because it's very important to tell what this prompt is all about. Now, if you've actually seen, I did a similar video on how to go ahead and get information about Lego parts years ago. I'm going to go and replicate that exact same example over here, and I'm going to use prompts. So I'm going to go ahead and call this as my Lego part number. This is basically my prompt name. Next, in the prompt, I'm going to go ahead and put in this text. The text says, what information can you provide me of the? After that, I'm going to put a space. Now I'm going to add the dynamic value. And in the dynamic value, I'm going to call that as Lego part number. Right here. Hit my tab, make sure it goes out of that, and there you go. We've just created our first custom prompt. And it's very important that you define it really well. Remember in the introduction I was talking about, keep it very precise. It doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be small, it has to be precise. That's the one thing over here. So now that I've gone ahead and put this information, you can actually do a test. So I'm going to say test my prompt right over here. So it says Lego part number. Well, I'm going to actually go and put in some of my very famous Lego part numbers. Let's say 3030. All right. I'm just going to put that number in and I'm going to say test. Now, remember, I have not had to do any other work in the backend. No API calls, nothing. I just made sure that I was very accurate in my definition, which is Lego part number. And I went ahead and did what? I just put in a part number 3030 and look at the AI response. The Lego part number 3030 refers to a basic brick with 4 studs on the top. It is a rectangular brick that measures 2 by 4 studs in a size. Like, do you understand the wowness over here? Is that we didn't have to explain AI what this is all about, any other API connections whatsoever. Be very specific. I'll also go and change another one. Instead of 3030, I'll go and say 3031. test the prompt, and then now it's saying waiting for the test, and it's going and giving me the information. So this 3031 refers to a 4x4 plate. It is a flat rectangular piece with definition of 4 studs by 4 studs. Again, very detailed information which gives you a good summary done by AI. So I like what this is. I'm going to go ahead and now save my custom prompt. And now it is going ahead and finishing off all the saving. But in the back end, it is actually doing a lot. Because remember, now in your custom prompt, not only should you have that available over here in Copilot Studio, but we're going to leverage that across Power Apps and Power Automate as well. So I'm good. It says your prompt has been saved. So I'll go and now close it. And right over here, you see the Lego part number. This is just the one that we created 4 seconds ago. So if I go now to my prompts, you will see the two of them. Initially, there was just one. Now there is the Lego part number as well. Now, you've got the option to also go ahead and share this with other people, but I'll save permissions and access for another video. This is just about the fundamentals learning. All right, so we went and built our very own custom prompts in Copilot Studio. But guess what? I should be able to see that in my Power Automate and in my Power Apps. So as I switch gears and now come to Power Automate, I just do a quick refresh. On the left vertical navigation, you see the AI Hub. And in case you don't see this over here, it's completely fine. Just go to click on more, and over here you will see all of them. Find your AI Hub, and then you can go ahead and pin it. That's what I did. Click on my AI Hub, and over here you will see something very similar to what we saw in Copilot Studio. And right over here, you see our custom prompt that was created. The icon is the exact same, except that right now we are in the Power Automate realm over here. Everything else, it shows up right off the bat. This is what we created, published it. This is how we can start using it. If you go to Power Apps, same thing over here. In my Power Apps, if I just go ahead and refresh it, on the left vertical navigation, over here you have AI Hubs as well. And now you are able to see the Lego part number. So as you can see, even though we built it in Copilot Studio, it is available both in Power Apps and in Power Automate. So let's start with Power Apps Canvas app. What I want to do is take an existing one of my Canvas apps and I want to start putting in the AI functionality into it. So on my data sources, by the way, this is a full app that I went ahead and built using Copilot. It's got a nice look and feel to it. It's a service desk request place. So what I'm going to do is I want to use one of those existing custom prompts to get some information about the type of request description that is put in. So for that, I'll come into the plus add data. I can go and start typing in AI. And if you scroll down, this is where you start seeing all those custom prompts. You see there is the name and then the subname, which is custom prompts. So what I'm going to do is at least play with one of the existing custom prompts that we had. It's called the AI sentiment. And you've seen this before, all right? The sentiment one. But now it's a custom prompt that you can start plugging it into directly each of your apps and flows. In our case, our Canvas app. So it is going ahead and loading. There you go. The AI sentiment connection is come in. What I want to do is now when somebody is going ahead and actually putting in a description, I want to gauge, hey, what is the sentiment of this text that has been put in? So for example, in this edit form that we have, right in the request description section, I'm going to go and select this specific data card value. And in its on change property, I'm going to go and set it something like this. Watch, I'm going to say bar response, and I'll put in a comma, and over here, go ahead and put in an AI and then put in sentiment. So right over here, right? Click on it, put in a dot, and you get predict. So I'll go ahead and click on this predict. After that, predict what? I need to go and predict this text. So right over here is this text. So I'm actually going to say self dot, and it's going to be the text. Get that, close it, and then go ahead and close all of it over here. So I'm no longer having these squiggly lines. I'm liking everything that I'm seeing. What I want to do is now get a prediction of what is the sense, the pulse of this description. And just for the sake of this text, right on this little label section, it already goes ahead and shows you what is the ID. I'll just go ahead and add another text to it so we can actually see what is going on. All right, so I'll just make some space, go and add that, and then I'll go and put in our var response dot. And when I do that, you've got two options, the finished reason and the text. Go ahead and put in the text. All right, so now it'll fill in. So let's do a test over here, right? So I'm going to go and click on play, and I'll go and start new. I'll click on new, and in my new, I'll go and put in request name is, say, Finn Christian, name of my dog. Now let's go to the request description. I'm going to start by trying to put in something a little negative. I'm going to say, I am so sick and tired of my existing leash. I demand a new one. And the moment I go and click outside, you can see that the custom prompt has directly gone and say that, hey, the sentiment of this provided text is negative. So now you can take this information and add enhancements to your existing Canvas app saying that, hey, for a negative one, go ahead and bump this priority directly to high, or you can do stuff like that. This is basically an example of how you can take your existing Canvas apps and go and put in your custom prompts directly into it. And as a test, let's go and switch this up to put something positive in. It says, I love my new toy. It is nice and chewy. And you see, immediately the prompt went and gave me the sentiment of this text is positive. So in that case, you can just make sure that the priority of this can be set to medium or something like that. But do you get the idea that how you can go ahead and use this out-of-the-box custom prompt in your existing Canvas apps? And since we are in Canvas app, I'm gonna actually go ahead and test out the custom prompt that we made. So what I'll do is I'll just switch over, I'll get out of the test side, I'll go to our new screen, and this is where I'll go and test it. So a couple of things we need to do ahead. First of all, I need to go ahead and now get my custom prompt. So I'm gonna go to plus add, and over here, search for the custom prompt. So we call that name as something called Lego, and right over here is the Lego part number. See, and it says custom prompt. This is the one that you and I just made. So as you can see, as long as this prompt is shared with you, you can directly go and start leveraging it directly into your Canvas app. So I'm going to make sure I click on it and let it load. So we got that done. Next, I'm going to go and put in a text input because I want to actually put some stuff in so we can do the exact same testing. Go ahead and add actually a button. Put the button over here. And then I'll also go and put in a label so we can actually see what is the result of that text, right? So I think everything looks good over here. The formula side, I'm on the on select for the button. I'll go and do it something similar. I'll go and say var AI response, something like that. And then I need to go and put in our Lego part number, put a period, there it is, predict, and predict what? Well, we need to give it the text number. See right over here, it's actually telling us predict what? It's the Lego part number. So for that, the part number comes from this text, the text input. So I go and put that in, is the text input 2. It's of a type text, basically we're giving it the text. So close it again, and there you go, all the errors is gone. So what I'm going to do is for this label, I'll go and replace that as the var AI response so we can actually see what is the data coming in. Dot, and that will be the finished reason. Go and close this off. And then for the text, I'll just replace that default output, and let's do a play over here. So we'll replicate the same testing we did when we actually went and created this custom prompt. So the first number that I put in, the Lego part number, was Lego 3031. Click on that, and over here, it went in and said stop. Well, that's because I put in the wrong one. Let me go and change that. The stop is actually coming for the finish reason. Let me go and replace that to the actual text right there. And there you go, it's already going and giving me all the full definition of that. Let me make it a little bigger so we can actually see what's going on. Right there, same thing, was Lego 3031. If I go and change that to 3030, it's going and doing all of this in. So now that custom prompt that you and I just created we tested it, we are able to go and leverage that directly into our Power Apps as well. So this could be for the new one, or it could be for existing apps. This was how we did it in Canvas apps. I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I want to do it in Power Automate just so that you can see how it's done over there. So I'll switch gears. I'll go to my Power Automate. In my Power Automate, I'll just click on my flows. I'll click on the new flow and I'll do it as an instant cloud flow. That way we can actually do a test. Very similar overall process, but I just want to show you how you did it in Power Automate as well. So I'll click on the Power Automate. For now, I'm just going to skip over. I'm going to skip the new designer and I'll just go and do a testing custom prompt. And for that section, I'll actually go and click on add, and I'll just put in the text for just prompt. That's what I'll do for now. And right over here, it's giving me AI Builder and create text with GPT prompt. That's what I'll select. So now that action comes up and now says choose a custom prompt. In my choosing of a custom prompt, right over here is the Lego part number. So I'll go and select that. And then as the next one, I'll click on the next, and I'll go ahead and add another compose so we can actually see what is the data coming in. That way you also have an understanding of how it represents the data in Power Automate. So I'll go and click on the inputs, and right over here you can see that there's different options. There's the text over here, which is exactly what we saw in Power Apps as well. In the Power Apps, this section was coming in as text. If I go and click on that, You remember the mistake that I made? It's actually just called text. The text is the correct one. So let's not make that same mistake in Power Automate. I'll go and select text. All right, so that's good. Let me just go ahead and save it. Oh, yep, the input Lego part number. We need to go and make sure that it's actually coming in from the right place. So over here, I went and called that as input. So this is actually going to be input. Let me go and type input in right here. Select that. And there you go. Now at least all the errors should go away. Click on the save. Everything is looking good. And now let's just do a quick test right over here in Power Automate. So I'll go and click on test, manually, test, clicks on it, testing prompt, and then I'll give the same numbers. Let's just do a 30, 31. Go ahead and do a run flow. Ran successfully. We'll see that the flow runs over here successfully as well, right over there. It successfully completed the custom prompt that we created. And in the compose, there you go. You see the full text similar to what we saw in Power Apps as well. So as a quick recap, we went and created our own AI custom prompt, and we did it in the Copilot Studio. Then we were able to verify that it shows up both in Power Apps and Power Automate. Then we took one of our existing Canvas apps, that's the important thing, one of our existing Canvas apps, and we added one of the out-of-the-box prompts, the one which did a sentiment on the ticketing system. Worked really well. I also showed you in the Canvas app how you can go ahead and put in your new custom prompt that we did in the Lego part number. And I also switched gears into Power Automate just to show you how the exact same thing can be done so you can understand how it works both ways. Hopefully this video got you excited and even proves a point how easy it is. Remember, we didn't have to put in any code, no custom connection whatsoever, no API calls, nothing. We, without a single line of code, went ahead and actually built our own AI custom prompt and leveraged that across Power Apps and Power Automate. So I really hope this gets you excited, gets your wheels turning to come up with some ideas that you already have and take your apps and flows to the next level. Hello, hello, hello. So if you like this video, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and smash that like button. Also, if you have a few extra seconds, can you go ahead and put in a comment? Either say something nice or give me ideas for my next video. And until then, see ya.